Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we will be doing my new 2026 governor's prediction. So this also combines the two governor elections in 2025. A total of 38 gubernatorial elections will be held in 2025 and 2026. We have all of these in 2026, as well as Virginia and New Jersey in 2025. So we'll be predicting and looking at those as well in this video. So remember to like, subscribe, and enjoy. Alright, so I think I'm going to go back to my original margins. Safe, likely, lean, tilt. Safe are margins above 15%. Likely are margins between 5 to 15. Lean are margins between 1 and 5. And tilt is any margin below 1 percentage point. So yeah, let's get into the safe Democratic states. The first one will be the state of California. So California, it is an interesting one to talk about. You have a slate of Democratic candidates running here, and obviously gubernatorial elections in California are different. It's an open primary, so only the top two candidates move on. So I'm pretty sure Kamala Harris will soon announce her bid for this governor bid. And a couple Democratic candidates who have already announced their bid so far said that if Kamala Harris runs, they will end their campaign. So that's very interesting. I believe Kamala Harris will become the next governor of California. Now, let's go to the state of Maryland. Maryland, the incumbent governor is Democrat Wes Moore. Wes Moore, he is not term limited. He was elected in 2022, so he can run for another term. After that, there's no more. I believe Wes Moore should be able to be reelected handily by over 15 percentage points. Now, let's go to the state of Connecticut. Connecticut, the incumbent governor is Ned Lamont. Ned Lamont, he has not announced his bid yet, but I believe he likely will run for re-election. He does have a very interesting primary challenger so far, because Connecticut, it's a deep blue state. He can't really lose. But the primary challenger is State Representative Josh Elliott. Josh Elliott, he's somewhat progressive. Ned Lamont also isn't exactly moderate or a blue dog, but many progressive Democratic Socialists disagree with him on several issues, so he might get primaried, but I believe Connecticut will be safe Democrat either way. It's similar in Rhode Island. Bill McKee, the incumbent governor, I think he has announced his bid. He has not faced any primary challengers so far, though a couple candidates, I think his attorney general might run against him. We'll see how that goes. Still, Rhode Island goes safe Democrat. Now for Massachusetts. Massachusetts, one of the most one of the bluest states in the country. The incumbent governor is Maura Healey. Maura Healey, they are running for re-election, so I don't think she's going to get primaried. She's one of the ones that aren't going to get primaried. Obviously, this is Massachusetts. Should be a safe Democratic state. We're also going to throw Hawaii in there. Hawaii, the governor is Josh Green. He is also eligible to seek another term, for second term. So Hawaii should easily go blue. And yeah, I think that is it for the safe Democratic states. Now let's go to the safe Republican states. This is going to be Idaho. Idaho, really no question here. I'm pretty sure the governor is not term limited. Brad Little, yeah, because he can run for a third term. I don't think he's announced his bid yet, but Idaho, very, very safe Republican state, deep red, ruby red. Brad Little, I expect him to be renominated and win the general election. Wyoming, reddest state in the country, and the governor is Mark Gordon. I'm not sure if he's able to run for another term. I think Wyoming I'm pretty sure Wyoming has a term limit at 2, so we'll see who the Republican nominee is for governor here. Something that is interesting is Harriet Hageman. She is publicly expressing interest, I think. So that's interesting. She's the representative for the only congressional district in Wyoming. We'll see if she does, but yeah. South Dakota. So South Dakota was one of the states with a new governor because Kristi Noem, she was a governor. She became Secretary of Homeland Security. So the lieutenant governor, I forgot his name. I think it was Larry Roden, South Dakota, not the North Dakota one. He is, he might get challenged by the representative in South Dakota. So that would be interesting if Larry Roden does get primaried. So the polling here, because Dusty Johnson, he's the representative from South Dakota, he's already announced his bid, and then Roden actually hasn't officially announced his bid yet, but we'll see. Johnson, I think he beats Roden in polling, so we'll see how that goes. We're also going to put the state of Arkansas in the safe Republican category. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I'm pretty sure she can run for another term. And she's not exactly so unpopular she can lose in the state of Arkansas. So that's very, very easy. Another win for Republicans. Tennessee, Alabama Alabama, Tennessee, very safe Republican. And is that it for the safe Republican states? Yeah, I think that should be good. So now let's move on to the likely states now. Likely states, we're going to put Colorado in here. Colorado, I think Senator Michael Bennet, he is running in the Democratic primary. Phil Weiser, the Attorney General there, is also running. I think Bennett should win the primary. He's a bigger name than the Attorney General. Weiser. So Michael Bennet, he's leaving that Senate seat. He has the endorsements from a bunch of Colorado representatives, as well as John Hickenlooper, so the other senator from Colorado. Because Jared Polis, the incumbent, he is term limited, so Michael Bennet is swooping in, and I think he's going to win. We're going to put Oregon in there. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek. I think she's one of the most unpopular governors in the country. She has, I think she's going to run. I don't see anybody primarying her out. But still, it's Oregon. Pretty likely Democrat. I'd say she wins by around 13 percentage points. Now, let's go to the state of Virginia. Virginia, okay, this is one of the 2025 governor races. Winsome Sears, the Republican candidate, and she's an incumbent lieutenant governor. Because this seat is held by Republicans, Glenn Youngkin. So, polling shows Sears is down by like 10. Abigail Spanberger, she's a pretty okay candidate. Sears has just been running a horrible campaign. I think Sears loses by around 11 percentage points. She really fumbled this campaign in Virginia. Jack Ciattarelli in New Jersey is doing much, much better. We'll see how that race goes. Move on to that one later. We're going to put the state of, Vermont. We'll put the state of New Mexico in here as well. New Mexico, I'm pretty sure the governor is, who is it? It's Michelle Lujan Grisham, and she can't seek re-election. She's term limited. Deb Haaland, the Secretary of the Interior, I believe, under Biden, she's running. There's a couple interesting candidates. I think Haaland should win it pretty easily. She has the endorsement from the Senator Ben Ray Lujan in New Mexico. So, yeah, still likely Democrat. I don't see them losing. And, yeah. All right, moving on to the likely Republican states. We're going to be doing, first, South Carolina. South Carolina, the incumbent governor, I'm pretty sure is, Henry McMaster. McMaster, he's interesting, but I'm pretty sure the 2026 gubernatorial election, he is term limited. So, it's going to be interesting. Nikki Haley, she might run. Just kidding. But I did hear somebody ask me about this on the stream. Nancy Mace, I do want to talk about her. I think she's going to run for Senate and try and primary out Lindsey Graham. And then, currently, I'm pretty sure a bunch of statewide officials in South Carolina have announced their bid. The lieutenant governor, the attorney general, and Also, Ralph Norman, he might run. He's another representative, I think, from South Carolina's 5th congressional district. So that would be interesting. South Carolina, either way, they really don't have any good Democrats. So, yeah, I think South Carolina goes likely Republican, as well as Oklahoma. So, Oklahoma, I do want to say, Kevin Stitt, he is the relatively unpopular governor from Oklahoma. He is term limited. So the reason I'm putting this in likely is first of all because OKC, those that the suburbs there are trending to the left heavily. We saw that in 2024. Also, the 2022 Oklahoma governor's race was also within a likely margin. It was around 14 points for Kevin Stitt. So I feel like even without an incumbent, also with the OKC suburbs shifting to the left, as well as Trump midterm, it's gonna hurt Republicans there. Not by a lot, obviously. It's still R plus 12 percentage points. Now, we're gonna put the two states above it as well as in likely Republican. First of all, Kansas. Kansas, the governor here is a Democrat, Laura Kelly. She is term limited, so that's very bad for Democrats. She won by a lean margin in 2022, and I think a likely margin in 2018. Kansas, it was safe Republican on the presidential level. No surprise in 2024. The Democrats, they really can't nominate somebody good, so Republicans, I think they're gonna nominate. I'm not sure, but the former governor, Jeff Collier, has announced his bid. But Kansas, Democrats aren't winning here. R plus 10 percentage points. For the Nebraska governor's race, the governor here is, is Jim Pillen. One of those generic Midwest governors. He is running again. Easily wins that nomination. In Nebraska, I'd say R plus 14, just barely. But Omaha, it is shifting to the left. Okay. We're also going to smack down Florida into the likely Republican category. Florida, Byron Donalds is likely going to be the Republican nominee. Donald Trump endorsed him. But Ron DeSantis, the incumbent governor's wife, Casey DeSantis, could potentially run. Then it'll come down to see if MAGA will vote Donalds or a family name. I'd say still Donalds. Either way, Florida's shifting to the right. It's going Republican. Now, let's go to the state of, how about Texas? Texas, look at this slate of 4 likely Republican seats. Texas Governor Greg Abbott. So, you have the Democrats here. They might actually nominate Beto O'Rourke again. I think they will. Though, Bobby Cole, I saw an ad for him. He's like this random rancher. He's also running. He gives off some strong Texas vibes, so we'll see if he wins a primary. Also, James Tallarico. He's one of those other big Democrats in Texas. He's a state representative. So, yeah. Any Democrat is fine, I guess, to go against Greg Abbott. I don't see them coming close. Well, actually, no, I have it going R plus 6%. It's just that Donald Trump made Texas so Republican in 2024 with that red wave, and I don't think Democrats can shift it to the left by like 15 percentage points during the midterms. Alright. Now, I'm going to finish up some of these likely Democratic states. Illinois and New York. New York, Illinois, both shifting to the right. To the right. Republicans, I think they're going to nominate Elise Stefanik, sadly. I would much rather them nominate Mike Lawler, but I think he's sticking to his district. Stefanik, she will probably lose by like 12 percentage points, even to Kathy Hochul. Though, if Kathy Hochul is primaried out by Delgado, her lieutenant governor, then I could see it being safe Democrat in a blue wave. But we'll see. I am pretty sure the Republican nominee will be Hochul at this point. Will be Stefanik. And Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, the incumbent Democratic governor, he is available for another term. He is running. And I think even with Chicago shifting to the right, he should still pretty easily win it. Now, also, I forgot to put Vermont into the safe Republican category. And If you don't know, Vermont, the governor is Republican Phil Scott. He's basically a liberal at this point, but he is a Republican, registered as a Republican, so he is running again because Vermont has no term limits. He's basically the emperor of Vermont, if you want to say so. Vermont, yeah, not much discussion about that. And, we're also going to put Nevada into the likely Republican category. I feel like the last time I did one of these, I didn't realize. I forgot the power of Joe Lombardo. Joe Lombardo, he's actually like an amazing candidate here. He's already the incumbent governor of Nevada. Very, very popular. So I think he can win by around 8 percentage points. Expand on Trump's win in 2024. He's like one of the only swing state governors that actually has broad appeal. All right, let's go to the state of Iowa as well. Iowa, I know you guys are nominating state auditor Democrat Rob Sand. No, don't get me wrong, he's an amazing candidate. And Kim Reynolds, she's not running, I'm pretty sure. So, she's already very unpopular. So if she had ran, I think she might have lost to Sand. But Republicans are going to nominate someone else. They were going to nominate Representative, I'm pretty sure, Zach Nunn. But yesterday, after he talked to Trump, they were too worried. We were too worried about his House seat being lost, so he decided not to run. You have a couple representatives. No, you have Randy Feenstra. He's from a safe Republican district. So he's running for governor. I think he's the best pick for Republicans. And Democrats, yeah, they're going to likely nominate Rob Sand. He's also been endorsed by a couple people, I think. So, yeah, I still don't think Sand can make it lean. I'd say R plus 5-ish. Maybe 0.5, 5.5, Alright. Democrats, Minnesota. Tim Walz, he's popular in Minnesota, I guess. You can't he can run for another team. I don't see him fumbling anything. Like, he did fine. Obviously Maya hates him, but shocker. So Walz is gonna get renominated, and Republicans, they're gonna nominate. Honestly, they don't have any good picks, but the Minnesota GOP just kind of sucks. So Tim Walz wins with by 13%, by 13 percentage points. Okay, how many seats left? All right, let's get into I think we can do New Hampshire first. Likely Republican New Hampshire. Kelly Ayotte. So these two New England states, Vermont and New Hampshire, they're red. During 2024, the New Hampshire governor's race, Kelly Ayotte, former senator, I'm pretty sure she lost to, was it Jean Shaheen? No, I think it was the other one. But she came back and she won by 9 percentage points. She obviously outperformed Trump by like 15. So 2026, she's gonna get renominated because New Hampshire has governor races every 2 years. So, she hasn't announced yet, but she likely will because she's really the only person Republicans can nominate. Democrats have basically no one to run because Chris Pappas is running for Senate. Jean Shaheen is retiring, and Maggie Goodlander is running for her House seat again. So, really nobody. Okay. Democrats will also win Pennsylvania by a likely Democratic margin. Josh Shapiro, obviously a stellar candidate. He crushed Doug Mastriano in 2022. But, it was Mastriano. I feel like the margin's going to be slimmer than that, but still D plus 10 percentage points. Alright, now let's get into the lean states, finally. First one, it's going to be Maine. Maine, I can't see it flipping. Shelley Pingree, she is term limited, I think, right? Yeah, she's term limited. Democrats, they already have a couple good candidates. You have Hannah Pingree. Sorry, not Shelley Pingree. She's not it's Jeanette Mills. Shelley Pingree is a representative from Maine. But Hannah Pingree, she might run No, she is running. Sorry, she's also the former Speaker of the Maine House. So, but you also have Angus King III. You have a couple very big names, like family names. You get Hannah Pingree, daughter of U.S. Representative Angus King III, son of Senator Angus King Jr. You get, and then you get some big statewide candidates. You get Shanna Bellows, the Maine Secretary of State, and you get Troy Jackson, the former president of the Maine Senate. I feel like Democrats can do well here. I don't like D+4. Like, it's nothing to be ashamed about. Just what I think it is going to be. I think they nominate Angus King. I would like to see some polling. I would love to see Angus King become the governor. Also, Troy Jackson. He got the endorsement from Bernie Sanders. So that's very interesting. I don't see a Republican winning here because there's not many big names here anyways. So Republicans, yeah. It's gonna be D plus. Actually, I'm gonna move it to. I'm actually gonna move it to likely because I think a Democrat can pretty easily win here, so maybe 7 percentage points. All right. Let's move to the lean states. So the first one is gonna be Alaska. I see Mary Peltola running for the governor's race, though she might run for the Senate race. Don't get me wrong. I feel like she goes for the open governor's seat because the incumbent is term limited. Not much to say here. I feel like she still doesn't win. Like Alaska, I just can't see it. Arizona, this one, I think Republicans are gonna nominate. Because at one point Charlie Kirk might have ran here, but he declined. Democrats, they're gonna nominate Katie Hobbs again, though she is facing a primary challenge. That is unfortunate for her. Hobbs, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's getting primaried by, no, actually no, sorry, that was a couple months ago. No, but people were talking about Adrian Fontes, the Secretary of State for Arizona running, but that isn't gonna happen. Republicans, they have two choices: Andy Biggs and Karen Taylor Robson. So, people they're going for Andy Biggs. I think, though Donald Trump endorsed both. Okay, so it's interesting here, but I'm pretty sure Biggs is beating Robson in all polling. Though endorsements are coming in from both sides, Kirk also nominated Biggs when he endorsed Biggs when he declined to run. Also, a couple other representatives here, they are also endorsing Biggs, though not from Arizona. Well, no, Eli Crane, Paul Gosar, and Lauren Boebert from Colorado, they all endorse Biggs. But Sarah Huckabee Sanders of the state of Arkansas endorsed Robson, as well as Pete Ricketts, the senator from Nebraska. So this might be a competitive primary to watch. I think Biggs is the favorite. Biggs versus Hobbs, I think Hobbs just barely wins it by 1.5%. Republicans, let's move to the state of Ohio. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's likely going to become the governor nominee for Republicans. Democrats, if they run either Tim Ryan or Sherrod Brown, it's going to be lean Republican, R plus 3 to 4. If it's not, then it's likely Republican. I'm just going to put it in lean for now. Don't get mad at me for this. Sherrod Brown, Tim Ryan. If they do run, it could get potentially competitive. And they might, but we'll have to see. I still think Ramaswamy would be favored either way. Democrats win New Jersey in 2025. Like, don't get me wrong, Jack Ciattarelli, he is running a pretty good campaign, to say the least. But the national environment is just too blue, I feel like, for him to win. Though, if Zohran Mamdani winning the Democratic primary, I don't think it's really going to hurt Mikey Sherrill. I really don't. But Jack Ciattarelli, he was able to get this competitive like he did in 2021, I feel like. So, Democrats win it by 2 percentage points here. Okay. Republicans, well, they win Georgia by lean Republican. Georgia, Brian Kemp, pretty popular governor here, is term limited. So, Republicans, they might nominate, there's a couple interesting ones. They might nominate Chris Carr, the Attorney General. Burt Jones, Lieutenant Governor. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, she might run for governor here as well. And I would like to see some polling with her in the race. But I'm pretty sure Burt Jones is a favorite. If Republicans nominate Marjorie Taylor Greene and they somehow fumble Georgia, it's going to be annoying. So, Georgia is shifting to the left. And I feel like the governor's race is still relatively red here. And Democrats, they don't have anybody that good. Though Geoff Duncan, the former Republican lieutenant governor here, he said that he might run as a Democrat. So that's interesting. And then they could also nominate maybe Lucy McBath. I think she's from they could nominate Stacey Abrams, the nominee for the last 2 governor races here. And there's a couple like state senators and stuff that they could nominate. But we'll have to see. Polling shows if Abrams hops into the race, I think she should win, but we'll see. Abrams versus Marjorie Taylor Greene would be something to go into the history books. Now let's move on to our final 2 seats, Wisconsin and Michigan. Wisconsin first, I guess. Wisconsin, the incumbent governor, Tony Evers, he is not term limited. Evers, I think he's gonna run. He has run, right? Yeah. No, he has not. So, but there's nobody really else to potentially primary him, because nobody else has really expressed interest, I guess. So, Evers, I think he is renominated, and he wins. This was the closest state on the presidential level in 2024 as well. So, it's gonna be close. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like Wisconsin, it will go blue. Now, Michigan. This one is honestly going to be probably the best race here. Michigan, you have the Democratic primary between the Michigan Secretary of State and the Lieutenant Governor, Garland Gilchrist and Jocelyn Benson. So, in the polling here, I think Benson is definitely the big favorite. You also have Chris Swanson as well. But Benson will likely be the nominee. Republicans, they have John James. John James, if they don't nominate him, I will be very mad. Tudor Dixon, she declined to run. Thank God she was a nominee here and got completely slapped in 2022 by Gretchen Whitmer. Because Gretchen Whitmer, she's term limited. So they ain't running anybody. So it's going to be Benson versus James, I'm pretty sure. John James, he's a representative from Michigan's 10th District, 2023 to present. So, he was also the nominee for U.S. Senate in 2018 and 2020. So, he's highly experienced. But the independents, Mike Duggan, the mayor of Detroit, is running here. So, it's pretty obvious that Duggan will take slightly more, not a lot more, of the percentage of vote from Democrats than Republicans. And Michigan's going to be the closest governor's race, I feel like. And that just pushes John James over the edge. Republicans, don't get me wrong, they might fumble. The Michigan GOP is honestly what just pisses me off a lot. But John James, he might be able to pull this off. So, once again, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, like the video. This has Republicans winning 20 out of 38 governor's races in 2025 and 2026, and Democrats winning 18. I think the only flip here is going to be Michigan. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.